This meeting of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders is hereby called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Okay. Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Jones. Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Mercado.
Here.
Freeholder Pomares.
Here.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson, absent. Freeholder Siebel.
Here.
Freeholder Timberlake, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Here. Please stand and salute the flag. I'm going to ask Freeholder Siebel to lead us in the salute.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, are there any transcripts to be approved?
Mr. President, there are none.
Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion?
Mr. President, there are none.
Okay, let's move to the public comment session on the agenda items. Tonight's meeting is a combined conference board meeting, and we will vote on every item on the agenda. So if there is any member of the public who would like to comment on any agenda item, please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak. If there is any member of the public who would like to comment on any issue, please come to the microphone and state your name and affiliation for the record. Again, you will have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there is no one wishing to speak at this time. Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances or resolutions for introduction and first reading?
Mr. President, we have one ordinance to amend ordinance O-1979-00089 as revised, the Code of the County of Essex, Chapter 130, Streets and Sidewalks, addition of Article 3 and 130-8.
Mr. Jackson, can you please explain the ordinance?
Good evening, Mr. President. Yes.
Thank you.
This ordinance is brought to us really or generated by the Sheriff's Office. And right now, there's no real code that allows the Sheriff's Department to enforce when an individual or a company, a homeowner, might dump snow on county roads. This ordinance would allow, would give the Office of the Sheriff the ability to issue tickets and warnings to ensure that our roads remain clear and safe.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Parlavecchio, do you have any questions or comments at this time?
And just one question, not really a question. This is limited to the county roads throughout the county, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
Freeholders, questions or comments? Seeing none, do I have a motion and a second to introduce the ordinance?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Siebold.
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson, absent. Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So,
Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances or resolutions for listing purposes only?
Mr. President, we have three. Ordinance number O-2018-0001, bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements by the County of Essex, New Jersey, appropriating $18,150,000, therefore, and authoring the issuance of 17 $1,275,000 bonds or notes of the county for financing such appropriation. Ordinance number 2, ordinance number O-280002, ordinance establishing the year 2018 fee schedule of the Essex County Parks and Recreation Facilities. And the third ordinance is ordinance number O-28-0003, ordinance amendment to the county ordinances O-2313-0014 as amended by ordinance number O-2016-007 and ordinance number O-2016-0026 to allow for the sale and service of alcohol and beer and wine only at Verona Boathouse effective July 1st, 2018.
Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances or resolution on second reading and public hearing tonight?
Yes. Mr. President, would you like me to list those 3 ordinances I just read? Okay. And,
No, Madam Clerk.
okay. Ordinance on,
Madam.
no, Mr. President.
Okay, Madam Clerk, it's my understanding that resolution number 1 has been withdrawn by the administration.
Yes, that has been withdrawn.
Okay. So let's move to resolution number 2. Please read it.
Resolution number 2, Office of the County Council Professional Services Agreement to provide special outside counsel on various contract issues included but not limited to actual or threatened litigation. Connell Foley, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, amount not to exceed $75,000.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Jackson, please explain the resolution.
Mr. President, this is a series of items dealing with outside counsel, and our corporation counsel, Courtney Gassion, is here to answer all of your questions, I hope.
Good evening, Mr. President. Courtney Gassion, Essex County Council. Starting with resolution number 2, which has been read into the record already. This is a professional services agreement to provide special outside counsel on various contract issues involving our Department of Public Works, specifically issues involving construction projects, contracting issues, etc. This contract is with Connell Foley, LLP. They're located in Roseland, New Jersey. The contract period is for January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, an amount not to exceed $75,000. This contract is paid out of the Department of Public Works budget.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio?
Yeah. Is this an as-needed contract, or are there any open matters that they're currently handling? They've had this contract in the past, I know.
They have. This is a renewal. There are no open matters currently that are pending, and it is on an as-needed basis.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. McInerney?
As you'll see throughout these contracts, there's an hourly rate. You're looking at the not to exceed. The hourly rate is within the standard that provided by the county, which is $150 per hour for an attorney and $75 an hour for a paraprofessional. I'm just curious, is the same attorney, Mark
Flater.
Flater, still on this?
That's correct.
Okay. And this has traditionally been a contract that deals with construction issues for the most part?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Freeholders, do we have any questions or comments? Resolution number 2. Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion and a second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Luciano. Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mr. President.
Second by Freeholder Palmeris. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake, absent. Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson, absent. Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, let's move to resolution number 3.
Resolution 3, Office of the County Council Professional Services Agreement to provide legal representation in labor matters for Essex County. Genova Burns, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, amount not to exceed $200,000.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Mr. President. With your permission, I will just, on these items, I will just defer to Ms. Gassion directly.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, this is another professional services contract for outside counsel to provide legal representation in legal matters for the County of Essex. The contract is with the law firm of Genova Burns. They're located in Newark, New Jersey. The contract period is for January 1 through December 31st, 2018. This is on labor and employment matters. This is also on an as-needed basis. There are not any current pending matters that they are handling that are in litigation. They do handle some various contract grievances as well as unfair practice charges that are pending at PERC and at the Division on Civil Rights, but there's no current Superior Court matters that are pending pursuant to this contract. The amount is not to exceed $200,000, and this is a renewal as well. And finally, it's paid out of the Office of Human Resources budget.
Mr. Parlavecchio?
Yes. Does this contract cover the contract negotiations with the numerous bargaining units?
It does. There is a dedicated attorney at Genova Burns that assists us with our contract negotiations as the contracts expire throughout the county with the various collective bargaining units.
Thank you.
Recognizing Freeholder Vice President Wayne Richardson. Freeholders. Excuse me, Mr. McInerney.
This contract, again, has a attorney rate of $150 an hour. The actual attorney fees are set at $175,000. There's a $25,000 allocation for earmarked for legal costs, and it's been at $200,000 ever since I remember. The only question I have is last year, did they use up the whole $200,000?
They did not, and if you give me a second, I can tell you the amount that was expended. $110,000 through the end of 2017.
Okay, so we assume that when there's
Just in case you need a break.
contracts coming due, we're going to see more activity in this contract than before.
That is correct. We have 3 contracts that expired at the end of 2017, so we're going to be negotiating, through the next couple of months on those contracts, and then there's a whole other set that will expire at the end of this year. So luckily they're staggered, so we don't have every contract coming due the same year.
Right.
But for this current period, we do have 3 that are currently being negotiated.
Okay. Do they also handle any grievances?
They do.
Okay, so they handle everything, collective bargaining, negotiations as well as the grievances?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Freeholders, any questions or comments? Just to follow up on Mr. McInerney's question, so in light of what we think is coming in terms of work, we still believe that this amount is the right amount to set.
For as long as I've been in the office, we have not had to exceed the 200,000. So I believe that it should be sufficient for this year. Yes.
Okay.
Mr. President, if I may, this is
Sure.
an authorization to spend up to $200,000, but historically it's been less.
Right. Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Any additional comments or questions? Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Luciano.
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson?
Present.
Okay. Freeholder Jones? Yes. Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado?
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson?
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel?
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake? Absent Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
Okay.
Madam? Mr. President, if I can.
Yes, Mr. Parlavecchio.
I just confirmed with Freeholder Johnson, that was also a yes vote on this professional services contract.
Okay,
as you walk them.
you're good.
Mr. Council, do we need to recognize Freeholder Johnson, or does that suffice now?
He's here.
He's
Yes.
here. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so
thank you.
moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 4.
Resolution 4, the Office of County Counsel, Professional Services, to provide legal services representing the county at civil commitment hearing, including guardianship, at the Essex County Hospital Center in Glaciano, Webster, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, amount not to exceed $17,000.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, again, another professional services contract to provide outside legal services for the county. This is for the purposes of handling our bi-monthly commitment hearings at the Essex County Hospital Center. This firm typically handles, the firm is Inglesino, Webster, Weiss, Calla, and Taylor. They handle commitment hearings every other Tuesday on behalf of in-county Essex County patients at the Essex County Hospital Center in Cedar Grove. It's a contract year of January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, and the amount not to exceed $17,000.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions on this one.
Mr. McInerney.
And this one, as we discussed earlier, is based on a per diem rate, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Freeholders, any comments or questions? Motion or a second?
Move it.
Moved by Freeholder Richardson. Vice President Richardson.
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Palmaris. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake absent. Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmaris.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to Resolution 6. Please read it for the record.
Mr. President, I think we should be on
5.
5.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Office of the County Council, Professional Services to provide collection of unpaid fines and penalties for various environment violations imposed by the County Department of Health and its authorized subcontractor agencies, Puro Zena, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, contingency contract.
Through you, Mr. President, a professional services contract with the law firm of Pyrozino, Cefelli, Paris, and John Tempto for January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. This firm is utilized by the County of Essex to assist them in the collection of outstanding penalties and fines that are incurred by individuals and businesses throughout the county for violation of our hazardous material and health violations. They act almost in the role of a collection agency to assist us in collecting those penalties and fines. It is a contingency fee contract, meaning that they're not paid on an hourly basis. They only collect fees if they actually collect the fines and penalties. They are entitled to 1/4 of all fines and penalties that they recover. In the event that the matter does not go to litigation, if it does go to litigation, then they are entitled to 1/3 of any recovery that is brought in. And this is a renewal as well.
Thank you. Mr. Mr. Parlavecchio.
Thank you. Ms. Cassione, how did the county go after these delinquent collections before this firm was involved? I don't think they've been involved for the last few years, but
They have been involved for the last few years. Before that, we did do it in-house, but it became such a large task. It was too large for one person in my office to be able to handle, and certainly once it gets to the litigation stage, it gets a bit more cumbersome. So we went out through the RFQ process to get somebody who was available to do that for
and
us.
has this been more productive in terms of percentage of collections or ability to collect?
The revenue that we've received has increased significantly since utilizing this firm.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. McInerney.
I just have one question. Who are in the title of the resolution, it says imposed by the county's Department of Health and its authorized subcontractor agencies. Who are the subcontractor agencies?
I will have to get back to you on that and
Okay.
find out. Do you know, Robert? Dr. Festa is our subcontracting agency.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. Thank you very much. And we approve that contract here as well.
Yes, as our county health officer.
Gotcha, okay.
That's right. Just got a direct line.
That's right. Very true. Freeholders, questions or comments? We have a mover and a second.
So move.
Moved by Freeholder Mikado.
Second.
Second by Vice President Freeholder Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson. Yes. Freeholder Jones. Yes. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake. Absent Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let's move to resolution number 6.
Resolution 6, Office of County Counsel, Professional Services to provide legal services regarding the assertion of claims related to a lawsuit brought against distributors and manufacturers of opiates and their intermediaries. Calera Byrne, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, contingency contract.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Through you, Mr. President, this is a professional services contract with the law firm of Carella Byrne, Cecchi, Olstein, Brody, and Agnello. This is for the provision of services on behalf of the County of Essex. They will be representing the county in a what's called a multi-district litigation, otherwise known as a class action lawsuit, that's being filed by many public agencies. The City of Newark has already filed, the State of New Jersey has already filed, against opioid manufacturers. This is seeking to recover the costs associated for the treatment, the recovery, and the expenses related to opioid addiction and the opioid crisis that is currently affecting the nation, and most heavily in some of our urban cities in New Jersey, including many cities within the County of Essex. This is a contingency fee contract. There will be no costs associated for this contract that will be imposed on the county. Any recovery will be on a contingency basis, so the law firm will only recover in the event that there's either a settlement or a successful outcome as a result of a litigation. The contingency fee rate is between 30 and 35%, depending on what the amount of the actual either settlement or litigation award is, and it also will be based on the number of participants in the class once the class is finalized. This is at the very beginning stages. The county has not yet filed, but we do anticipate that the complaint will be filed shortly.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to expand on that contingency contract concept, the county will not have to expend any money, not only for the lawyers' fees, the hourly rates, et cetera, but none of the litigation carrying costs such as filing fees, retaining experts that may be required in the case. So it's really, when it's no cost, it's really no cost to the county, and the attorneys will recover something if they recover something for on behalf of the county in this lawsuit.
That is correct.
Mr. McInerney?
So is the county the plaintiff in this case?
That is correct.
Okay, what happens to the funds if they are recovered, or if they are awarded? Where do those funds go?
So if there's an award as a result of a judgment or through settlement, then they are apportioned amongst the parties, the plaintiffs in the matter. At this point, I don't know what the total number of plaintiffs are going to be in the class. That's still yet to be determined. Though they're apportioned among the class members, the plaintiffs will each get a portion of that judgment or settlement, and then the attorneys will get between the 30 and 35% fee that I mentioned earlier.
But is that something that would typically, or has it been decided if that money comes back to the county, does that typically go into the general treasury? Or is there something in the settlement where these monies are set aside to a special fund, or?
I don't think we've gotten that far yet, and to be honest, as far as I know, because we've looked at these types of cases across the country, they're all at the very beginning stages, so as far as where the money will go, if it was to come back to the county, that has not yet been determined. All of these cases are in very, very beginning stages, so whether it will be for reimbursement costs to various departments, Sheriff's Department, Corrections, that we still have to
Right, but the county's
To work that
maintaining, there's been a cost to the county taxpayers for this, because of this issue.
that is correct.
So it very well could come back to the Treasury to reimburse for those costs.
It absolutely could, yes.
Okay, I got you.
Freeholders, questions or comments? Freeholder Jones.
My concern is, these are cities who are in this class action suit of Essex County. What are we doing is double dipping. If they're in the county, if they have money to be resolved, the township get theirs, so what do we do with ours? It makes no sense. Why would we get involved in this particular thing, since it is Essex County, the municipalities, if you're dealing with opium, whatever is going on, why would the county take on this task or whatever it is in terms of a class action suit? If Newark is suing and East Orange and blah, 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 we're taxpayers for the county. How do we fit in?
I think I can answer that. I sat in on the discussion about this. I think where Newark, let's break it down to what the recoverable costs could be. If it's law enforcement and, let's say, the use of Narcan, the substance that police use to get somebody who's having an overdose, to bring them back to life, basically. The county, I'm told, through the Sheriff's Department, has its own expenses, whereas Newark Police may have expenses, whereas Newark First Aid Squad, or whatever it may be called, or Orange First Aid Squad has their expenses. Essex County has its own particular expenses through the Sheriff's Office. So that's what the recovery is. It's not recovering on behalf of the City of Newark or the Township of Irvington. It would be just for direct costs attributed, expended by county agencies.
And just to expand on that a bit, for example, the Department of Corrections, who operates our correctional facility, does incur costs as a result of opioid addictions, housing inmates that have opioid addictions. That's a cost that is singular and unique to Essex County Corrections. That certainly would not be a cost that would be carried by the City of Newark or the City of Orange. That is, and also to the best of my knowledge, the City of Newark at this point is the only municipality within the county that has filed at this time. That doesn't mean that other municipalities will not join in, but their costs are going to be separated out. There's going to have to be an accounting from each of the plaintiffs as to what their quantifiable costs are that's unique to that particular individual public entity.
Mr. President?
Yes, Freeholder Palmer.
Councilor, would you equate this to something very similar to the class action lawsuit against the tobacco industry years ago?
That's correct.
Okay, so not only is it really about trying to recover costs, but also really to put some pressure on these companies really to alter the way they do business, isn't it?
That's absolutely correct. This is not just about a financial recovery. It is to change the way that the manufacturers of opioids are soliciting, doctors, the way that they're presenting these drugs to both their own distributors as well as the public, and to change the way that they're doing business and make the public additionally aware of the importance of opioid abuse and really bring it to light as a public awareness issue. And doing that by putting pressure on the manufacturers is one of the most critical ways that can get done.
So that in and of itself is probably worthwhile in its own right, and the recovery of funds is really secondary.
I would agree.
Thank you.
Freeholders, questions? Just a follow-up question, I think to Freeholder Jones' question, which is, we're suing, the county sues the manufacturer, potentially could be a class action lawsuit. If there are other cities that also decide to sue the manufacturer of these drugs, and say the county wins and the city wins, I guess there would be a concern that we would potentially be hurting the recovery of a city. So if the city of Irvington decides to sue, for example, and the county sues, and we're both suing at the same time, are we in potential competition with our municipalities in that sense?
And just to go back to the discussion we were having earlier, because there's going to have to be a quantifiable cost by each of the public entities, you're only going to be able to recover that associated cost for your particular, entity, and any, punitive damages that may encompass that as well. It's not going to be a cannibalistic type of situation where if we recover, that's going to be less for the rest of the group. There's going to be an apportionment based on what your quantifiable losses are. I'll give you an example. The state of New Jersey has filed. They have filed because on behalf of their members in the state health benefits program. As you probably know, County of Essex is in the state health benefits program. We are unable to recover for any health care costs associated with opioid addiction recovery treatment as a result of our health benefit increases related to those types of issues, because the state is already going to be entitled to that recovery because they cover all of those employees through their own program. So it's not as if one recovers, the other one can't, and that it's going to be an apportioned amount based on what their actual losses are. We're not going to have a health benefits loss because it's really the state's loss because they're the ones who's insuring us through their state health benefits program. So I don't know if that answers your question, but we're not doing this to the detriment of our municipalities. This is really the more municipalities that join in, the bigger the class, and the better chance of recovery we would have, as well as increasing the pressure on the manufacturers. And by multi-district, it will go outside the state of New Jersey as well. It will encompass, towns, counties, other states that are not within New Jersey.
So there is a chance at this. Do we know at this point in time how many other counties besides?
We are the first county in New Jersey to join
First county
this.
in New Jersey.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I actually heard this morning, just on the news, that the city of New York filed just yesterday.
I thought this morning
Yeah.
that I heard that New York City.
That is
Okay.
correct. Yep.
And the state has not taken any.
New York State, not that I know of.
Okay. And New Jersey has not.
New Jersey is in.
Yeah,
They've
they're
already
in.
filed.
They're in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's right. Okay. Any additional questions, freeholders? Mover in a second.
I'm happy to move, Mr. President.
Moved by Freeholder Romero. Second.
Second.
Second by Vice President Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson. Yes. Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake. I'll get back through you, Mr. President.
Sure.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes. Carries.
And Freeholder, so moved.
Okay. Recognizing Freeholder Timberlake for the record. Moving to resolution number 7, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Resolution number 7, the Office of County Counsel or Professional Services to provide legal services regarding the matter of County of Essex and Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders versus Aetna, docket number ESX-L-72823-17, Dakotas, Fitzpatrick, Cole, and Giblin, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, contingency contract.
Through you, Mr. President, number 7 is a professional services contract to provide outside counsel legal services by the firm of Dakotas, Fitzpatrick, Cole, and Giblin. Contract year is January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. This is for the representation of the County of Essex, again, as a plaintiff in a litigation against Aetna Insurance Company. The nature of this litigation is the county is seeking reimbursement of overpayment of premium costs that were paid to Aetna. This is a renewal contract. When this contract came before the freeholders last year, it was on a fee-based contract, meaning that we paid them the hourly rate, not to exceed $50,000. The agreement between the county and the firm was that once the matter proceeded to litigation, which it did in November of 2017, it would become a contingency fee-based contract. So at this time, we are to the point where we're at the contingency-based fee level. So there is no further hourly rates being paid to the firm. They will only get paid if there is a recovery, either through settlement or through litigation.
Okay. Ms. Barlecchio?
No questions.
Mr. McInerney?
Has this amount been quantified in some sort of report or study?
It has, but just because of the nature of the litigation, it's probably something that should be discussed in closed session.
Okay, all right, thank you. But there is a finite number that we...
We have an approximate estimate of the amount of money, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Freeholders, any questions or comments? Again, this is a contingency contract, correct?
It is.
Do I have a mover and a second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Seabold,
I'll second.
second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson. Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yep.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to resolution number 8.
Resolution 8, Office of the County Council Professional Services to provide legal services regarding the matter of Dr. Gail Gibson and Rashida Hassan versus Essex County College. Mack and Elroy Deutsch, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, amount not to exceed $40,000.
Through you, Mr. President, this is a professional services agreement to provide legal services on behalf of the County of Essex by the law firm of McElroy, Deutsch, Mulvaney, and Carpenter. Contract years January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, in an amount not to exceed $40,000. The firm is representing an individual defendant in this litigation that was filed by these two plaintiffs, former employees of Essex County College. They have filed a lawsuit against the college as well as an individual defendant that, as I said, the firm is representing. And this is a renewal of the contract. This matter came to you last year when the lawsuit was initiated. The county was able, through their outside counsel, to get 3 of the 4 counts against the individual defendant dismissed. There's 1 count remaining. There was recently an amended complaint filed just within the last few weeks, and the firm will be responding on behalf of the county to the amended complaint in the next 2 weeks. So we're at the beginning stages of litigation, but we hope that we will shortly be out through summary judgment.
Thank you, Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney?
So we're just down to 1 complaint now, or 1 charge? Or...
We are down to just 1 charge, correct?
Thank you.
Freeholders, questions or comments?
How is this different than the one that we did?
Madam
in
Freeholder
December?
Timberlake, thank you.
How is this one different than the one in December, I think we did?
This is the same contract. We came to you in December to increase the 2017 budget because there was additional bills that had to be paid. This is a renewal of that same contract for 2018. It expired the end of December of last year.
Follow up? You're good?
I'm good.
Freeholder Jones?
I'm just a little confused. Why are we, in terms of hiring someone when it's dealing with the county college? And we appropriate funds for the college. So why are we taking on the task of whatever is going on? But I see it on the agenda. Maybe I need some more clarity as to what this thing is about.
Through you, Mr. President, the individual defendant that outside counsel is representing is an employee of the County of Essex. We are not representing the college. We're representing the individual official of the County of Essex, not the college.
That person works for the county.
That is correct. And the county college is a separate
And
defendant.
those two persons who are suing him, they worked for,
That is correct.
at the college.
That is correct.
I'm confused, but first of all, they just don't seem right to me. Maybe somebody else
Mr.
can elaborate
Mr.
on it a little
Parlavecchia, would
bit
you like
more.
to respond?
The plaintiffs in this case are former employees of the county college, separate entity from, they're no longer, I don't think they're longer employees, are they?
They are not.
No. So they're former employees, they're just citizens of the state. They are suing, amongst other people, an Essex County government employee, not the college itself. So this contract is to pay for the attorneys to represent the Essex County employee. It's not paying money for the college. It's a lawsuit filed by former college employees, but not, the money for this contract isn't funding anything for the college.
Okay.
Mr. President?
Yep, Freeholder Johnson.
Mr. President, we have not been made aware of what has been going on with that. I think that we should at least look at going into a closed session so that we can understand some of the stuff that's going on with it and how it's going on with it and know exactly what's going on with this case. Maybe at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just, Mr. President?
Yep, Freeholder.
Just a point of clarity, so if we go into a closed session, does that mean that the vote happens before or after? I guess that's a question for Mr. Parlavecchia.
Yes.
Mr. Parlavecchia, I'll let you respond, but if there's a will of the board to go into closed session regarding this item, and this is a question for you, counsel, I'm assuming that we would then most likely need a motion to table this until after we went into closed session.
You can just hold it, right, you can table it. You could go into closed session now, motion to go into closed session. You could table item number 8 until the end of the meeting or some other point after you've gone into closed session. So you can, if you want to do it, if you want to table it now, you can have a motion to table it to another point in the meeting.
A recommendation?
Sure. How about trying to see how much we have on our agenda. Yeah, easier than clearing the whole room now. Maybe we have a motion to table this till later part of the meeting. So we just need somebody to move that in a second.
I'll move that motion to table this until later on in the meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay. Vice President Richardson, seconded by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebold.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Right, and just to be clear for the record, that was a motion to table. That wasn't a vote on the item itself.
Correct.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving to resolution number 9, Madam Clerk.
Resolution 9, Office of County Counsel, Professional Services, to provide legal services regarding the matter of Belvedere Homes and West Orange, LLC versus South Mountain Conservancy, Inglesino, Webster, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, amount not to exceed $40,000.
Mr. Parlavecchia.
I don't have any questions on, well, I would just ask, Ms. Gassion, can you just give a brief explanation of what this lawsuit is?
Through you, Mr. President, this is a professional services agreement with Inglesino, Webster, Scala, and Taylor in the amount not to exceed $40,000 for January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. This is a renewal of our contract from last year. The firm is representing the County of Essex in a land use matter, specifically the plaintiff, Belvedere Homes, is seeking for the county to relinquish a easement, a drainage easement located in the township of West Orange.
I don't have any other questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No other questions.
Freeholders? Questions or comments? Do you have a mover and a second?
I'll move, Mr. President.
Moved by Freeholder Palmaris. Second? Do we have a second on resolution number 9?
Second.
Second by Vice President Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill. So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 10.
Resolution 10, Office of the County Council, Professional Services to provide legal services regarding the matter of the estate of Anthony Stella by Grace Stella versus the Town of Nutley, docket number ESX-L-6272-17- Scarini Holenbeck, amount not to exceed $20,000.
Through you, Mr.
January
President.
1st, I'm sorry.
I apologize.
2018 through December 31st, 2018.
Through you, Mr. President, this is a professional services contract to provide legal services by Skrinsky Hollenbach, and the amount not to exceed $25,000 for January 1, 2018 through December 31st, 2018. They are representing the County of Essex in a wrongful death litigation that's been filed against the County of Essex. The reason the firm is representing the county is due to a conflict of interest that exists.
Thank you, Ms. Barlecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders, questions or comments? Do I have a mover and a second?
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Freeholder Mercado, second by Freeholder Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Moving to resolution number 11.
Resolution 11, Office of the Sheriff, contract with Hudson County Enterprises to provide janitorial services for the new sheriff's patrol headquarters for the period of December 16th, 2017 through December 15th, 2018, amount not to exceed $48,783.80.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes, Mr. President. As the clerk noted, this is a fairly straightforward contract to provide janitorial services for our new sheriff's office building, sheriff's patrol headquarters, excuse me. It's bid exempt, and it's being provided by Hudson Community Enterprises, which is a shelter workshop, and it includes all supplies and equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Parlavecchio. Do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't.
Mr. McInerney, any questions or comments?
Just that it is bid exempt, and to clarify what the business administrator said, it's a handicap workshop, so contracts with handicap workshops are considered bid exempt by law.
Freeholders, do you have any questions or comments? Do we have a mover and a second?
Moved.
Okay, Freeholder Luciano, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Freeholder Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 13. 12, excuse me.
Resolution 12, Department of Corrections Contract Award to Pinnacle Technologies, the sole responsive and responsible bidder to furnish and deliver DDSP inmate security ID armbands, 24-month contract, amount not to exceed $80,500.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Mr. President. This is a contract to provide for security armbands at our Essex County Correctional Facility. It is a contract that consists of two parts: the actual bands themselves, $77,500, and the riveting tool that puts them on and removes them for $3,000. It'll be paid for operating funds, and it amounts to about 100 cases of these armbands that we'll need for our correctional facility.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders, any questions or comments? Mover or second?
I'll move, Mr. President.
Thank you. Moved by Freeholder Palmaris. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmaris.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 13.
Resolution 13, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, authorization to use the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund to fund the new dog park at Hilltop Reservation, design services, amount not to exceed $34,200.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, Mr. Zates is here to answer your questions.
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Mr. President, number 13 is actually the funding mechanism for number 14. The funds would come out of the Open Space Trust Fund. And if you'd so like, we do have our Assistant County Engineer from Public Works actually talk about the project.
Since it's tied, would you like to do 14 too now?
Madam Clerk, can we, since 13 and 14 aren't tied together, can we please lead 14 into the record?
Resolution 14, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, professional services to provide engineering design service for the new dog park at Hilltop Reservation, Remington and Vernick engineers, amount not to exceed $34,200.
Thank you. Dennis Sedali, Assistant County Engineer, Department of Public Works. This design services contract with Remington and Vernick will provide for the design services for a new dog park at Hilltop. The dog park is going to be about 200 feet by 200 feet. It'll have two areas, one for large dogs, one for small dogs. It'll be fenced in. It'll have water fountains for people and dogs. We'll have benches there, garbage cans, there'll be signage, decorative entrance, information kiosk, a storage shed. There'll be apparatus in the dog pens for the dogs to exercise on. And we'll have doggy bag receptacles, and we'll be doing some tree trimming inside.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders. Freeholder Siebold.
Thank you. All of the items on the agenda dealing with Parks and Recreation were discussed at the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board meeting on January 8th. I believe the minutes are included in your packets. And all of us discussed the fact that Freeholder Luciano would be very pleased that we're going to have a dog park at Hilltop Reservation. So I just want you to know, Freeholder Luciano, that you were discussed at the meeting.
Freeholder Luciano.
Through you, Madam President. I haven't slept in 5.5 years since I asked for this dog park. I can finally sleep peacefully at night that there's a county dog park in Essex County District 4. I did tour the facility with the county exec, the mayor and council of North Colwell. And thank you, Freeholder Siebold and the Open Space Trust Fund.
We knew you'd be happy.
I'm very pleased to announce that there will be 2 dog parks, actually, one for larger dogs and one for smaller dogs. Unfortunately, my dog died last year, though, so I mean, I either have to get another dog for the groundbreaking and ribbon cutting, or I'll just substitute maybe the county exec's son's dog in, who lives about a mile down the road. So again, thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to you.
Are you serious? Your dog died while you were waiting for this park?
Unfortunately, lived a nice long life, 15 and a half, so I can't complain. But thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome, Freeholder Luciano, and you won't be able to say that we didn't move fast. Now on this in 2018, and there will be a dog. There's a dog coming to the Gill household this Saturday. So we've never had a dog before. So you want to come and grab it?
Yes.
Be my guest.
We'll
Take
take
it up
it
to
definitely
the
for
dog
the
park.
groundbreaking.
Because I'm not as excited about it as the rest of my family. So if you need that void in your life, I'm more than happy to come on down. Freeholder Jones, excuse me, thank you.
I just want to ask a question. With the dog park, well, I don't have a pet, and I wasn't raised around pets, but I'm just curious of the sanitation part of it. When the dogs in there dropping, is there someone we hire to clean up, or do the owners of the animals clean up behind their own personal animals?
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Through you, Mr. President. We do leave it upon the dog owners to clean up after. We do have, we provide doggy bag stations, I guess you call them, and then we would hope that they dispose of the waste appropriately.
They do.
Is that sufficient, Freeholder Jones? Thank you. Any additional questions?
If I may,
Jackson?
Mr. President,
Sure.
Mr. Zates, have we had problems with the other dog facilities that we have?
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Through you, Mr. President. It's been very minimal. A few cases here and there, but the vast majority we haven't had any issues.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Mr. Zates, I have a very random question. Do they ever do anything at dog parks to make sure that, like, to keep down the spread of fleas and different things?
Through you,
Is there
Mr.
some type of treatment that happens each year?
Through you, Mr. President, I'm not aware of that. I would think it would be upon the owners to kind of keep their dogs, free of fleas, but it's certainly something we could look into.
Thank you. And that's why Lola doesn't go to the dog park.
Any additional questions or comments? Freeholder Johnson?
To you, President, you might as well get used to it, because I was just like you. I didn't agree with it, but I wound up walking them half the night. So
We're glad that we have these facilities. I appreciate that.
I have a question. Is
Sure,
there any
Freeholder Cotton.
liability to the county if the dog, there's something occurs with a pedestrian or someone?
So all dog parks that are within the confines of Essex County will be included on our roster of insured properties, so it will be covered just like all of our other county facilities are. So any incidents that happen, dog or people related, would be covered. Yeah.
Any other additional questions or comments? Do we have a mover and it's?
I'll move it.
State
She beat me to it.
Thank you. We're going to take, this is, just for the record, we're going to take Resolution 13 and 14 together. So it's moved by Freeholder Siebold.
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Luciano.
Let Freeholder Luciano move it if it makes him happy. I
No,
don't
it's
care.
okay.
now, that's Mr. Dog Park. He gotta get it.
He's got it.
Okay, we will,
All right, I'll take it from you, Pat. I'll move it.
we'll reflect that in the record. Moved by Freeholder Luciano, seconded by Freeholder Siebold. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
And Freeholder President Gill.
Woof.
So
Yes.
moved.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Polavecchio. Resolutions, why don't we take Resolution 15 and 16 and read both into the record at this time?
Resolution 15, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, authorization to use the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund to fund the Branch Brook Park and Yanakaw Park Designs Services, amount not to exceed $61,920. Department of Parks and Resolution 16, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, professional services to provide engineering design services for the Branch Brook Park and Yanakaw Park field improvements, Bowman Consulting Group, amount not to exceed $61,920.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Zates again is here to address your concerns.
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Through you, Mr. President, as stated earlier, 15 and 16 are related. 15 is the funding mechanism for number 16, and we have Dennis from Public Works to give you a little more details about the project.
Thank you.
Dennis Sedali, Assistant County Engineer. These engineering design services will provide for improvements in two parks, Branch Brook Park and Yanakaw Park. In Branch Brook Park, we're going to improve a baseball field and a softball field. We're going to replace the turf, install new fencing, including dugouts, backstops, and field fencing. We'll install garbage cans, bleachers, foul poles. We're going to have a lighting upgrade, scoreboard replacement, water fountain with bottle filling, flag poles, and windscreens. In Yanakaw Park, we are going to replace the infield, remove the clay. We're going to do drainage and curbing improvements. We're going to install a new sub-base as well as a new turf and foul lines. We'll relocate the scoreboard, have new windscreens, and repair the existing fencing.
Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Questions or comments? Freeholders.
Yes, President. The Branch Brook Park fields are the ones located in on Lake Street in Newark, and this is a park that's used by hundreds, if not thousands, throughout the year to play baseball and softball. The two fields are only the last two fields that are not turfed, and there's a lot of maintenance that goes into those fields as a result of drainage, and so this is going to be put the park in a very, very good situation where the fields can be utilized. It's also utilized by high school softball teams, so it's much needed, and I think all of the children that play and enjoy the park will definitely be the benefactors of this.
Thank you, Freeholder Mercado. Questions or comments? Do we have a mover and a second for 15 and 16?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Siebel.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We can now take Resolution 17 and 18.
Resolution 17, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, authorization to use the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund to fund fence replacement at Turtleback Zoo, amount not to exceed $387,421. Resolution 18, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, contract award to GSP Properties, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder to provide fencing at Turtleback Zoo, 90-day contract, amount not to exceed $387,421.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Mr. President. As noted, 17 and 18 are related, and Mr. Zates and Greg Peterson, President of GSP, are here to answer your questions.
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. As the administrator stated, 17 and 18 are related. And regarding number 18, or just the project in general, we have a whole slew of experts here for you this evening. In addition to Dennis, we have Greg Peterson from GSP, as well as our zoo director, Mike Kerr.
Thank
Good evening, Freeholder Board and Freeholder President. My name is Greg Peterson from GSP Properties. We're a small registered business in the state of New Jersey. So a little more about the project. It is for the leopard holding at the Turtleback Zoo. There's 2 outside areas. They're very large. And right now, currently, they are covered in a galvanized mesh. They have a galvanized top and sides to them. So the new mesh to be installed is going to be approximately 14 feet high at both exhibits, or both outside holding areas, 50 feet wide, 40 feet deep, and the new mesh is a black oxide stainless steel high tensile strength. And it's 2x2 woven. It's buried into the ground to allow for dig buries so that the leopards can't get out. So, quick overview. We're also materials. We've sourced everything locally, and there's going to be workers from Essex County on the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Palavecchio?
No questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders, questions or comments? Freeholder Richardson, Vice President Richardson.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. You going to be employing, so how many employees are going to work on this project?
We're looking at 6 employees. We're looking at a 50% from Essex County.
Any minorities included in that
Yes.
50%? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
In addition to that being important, I think the most
Freeholder
important, I'm
Timberlake.
sorry, through you, Mr. President. I think the most important thing you said was that the leopards won't get out.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point of the contract. You can ask Mike about the leopards.
All right.
Have we lost any? Questions or comments? Do we have a mover and a second on Resolution 17 and 18?
Move it.
Moved by Vice President
I'll second it.
Richardson, second by Freeholder Luciano. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to Resolution number 19.
Resolution 19, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the priority bridge repairs to various Essex County bridges and project identified as LBFN-2018-00039.
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, items 19 through 23 relate to infrastructure improvements that we're very enthusiastic about, and Mr. Zadeli is here to answer your questions on each.
Mr. President, you want me to read the rest of these?
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Before we hear, why don't we read Resolution 20, 21, 22, and 23 into the record?
Resolution 20, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the minor bridge reconstruction for various Essex County structures and project identified as LBFN-2018-00047. Resolution 21, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the replacement of Dougal Place Bridge over Cane Brook and project identified as LBFN-2018-00012. Resolution 22, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineers, contract award to Connelly Brothers and the lowest responsive and responsible bidder to provide miscellaneous drainage improvements at various county locations. 365-day contract, amount not to exceed $337,967. Resolution 23, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, contract award to Two Brothers Contracting, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the building demolition of 49 9th Avenue, Newark, New Jersey, 30-day agreement, amount not to exceed $56,677.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Dennis Sedaley, Assistant County Engineer. If I might start with items 19, 20, and 21, where we're submitting grant applications and requesting you to execute a grant contract with the NJDOT for some bridge work. Item 19 is for priority bridge repairs for the County of Essex. Bridges over 20 feet in span. We will be addressing some of the results of the state bridge inspection reports for our bridges to correct those deficiencies. In item 20, we're going to be applying for a grant for minor bridges, and we hope to replace 4 minor bridges. Minor bridges are spans less than 20 feet. The Marion Avenue culvert over the Rawway River in Milburn, the Freeman Street Bridge over Fulton's Brook in Roseland, the Mitchell Street Bridge over the East Branch of the Rawway River in the City of Orange, and the Locust Street Bridge over Lloyd Brook in Bloomfield Township. In item 21, we're asking for funding for the replacement of the Dougal Street Bridge over Cane Brook.
Okay, so 19, 20, and 21. Mr. Parlavecchio.
I don't have any questions.
Mr. McInerney.
Yes, I need some clarification on these 3. These are applications for grant monies, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Each one of these resolutions is requesting, has the number on it, and I'm trying to figure out if these are 3 individual amounts or one amount of $2,317,670. Is that one amount each grant for that amount, the application for $2,300,000 for each one of these resolutions, or are all of these resolutions tied together for that individual amount, for one amount of $2,317,000?
Through you, Mr. President, that amount, the $2 million amount, is the amount the state is telling us to apply for. We're applying for 3 individual grants, which will total close to a little over $4 million. We are hopeful that we'll be successful in receiving that amount of money. If, however, we are not successful, we can make up that through our capital improvement program, or we can reduce the scope of work in some of the projects.
Okay, and that's the point. So if you look at, again, I guess, Dennis, the question is, again, these are individual applications for $2.3 million?
These are individual applications.
For $2.3 million?
Yes.
Okay. So looking at that, and then going inside the resolutions and looking at the cost and then the recommended amount that we're requesting, for Resolution 19, the cost is about $1.5 million. We're requesting $1,350,000. For Resolution number 20, the cost is $1,650,033. We're requesting $1,650,000. And then for Resolution number 21, the cost is estimated $1,650,000. Again, we're requesting $1 million. So in the total request on those, it's $4 million. So are we requesting $4 million out of $6.7 million, which is that, this 2.3 times 3?
The individual amounts, the $1,350,000 and $1,650,000, those are 3 individual grant applications.
Right.
We're hopefully going to receive those amounts from the DOT.
I'm just confused with this number. Why isn't $1,350,000 on the grant application as opposed to $2,317,000? If we're requesting $1,350,000 on Resolution 19, why do we have $2,317,670 on the application?
That's the amount that the DOT said we could apply for. We're applying for more than what they told us we could apply
On each one of these resolutions?
Correct.
So if we get to $2,300,000, it's possible that we would have more than $1,350,000 that we're requesting on Resolution 19, as well as Resolution 20 and Resolution 21,
Yes,
if they give us the whole amount.
if they give us the whole amount.
Okay. Thanks.
Mr. McInerney, why is that troubling for you?
Well, I mean, I've typically seen where, well, first of all, you have 3 applications for the same amount of money. So I just was confused whether or not it was one application for $2,317,000, or it was 3 applications for that amount each. Because $2,300,000, if it was for just the one, it doesn't cover the cost associated with what's in these applications. If it's all 3, if it's individually 2.3 for resolution number 19, 2.3 for, then it does. But if it's only one application for 2.3, then it's well below what we need to do the construction. And that's why seeing that same number on all 3 resolutions led me to the question, is it 1 or is it 3? And Dennis is saying it's 3.
Well, it's 3 applications. If we exceed the 2.3, we intend to either make that amount up with county capital dollars,
Okay.
or reduce the scope of the work of the project.
Okay, so if,
Yeah,
it, so then we're saying...
I just want to be clear, Mr. McInerney, because I'm hearing 2 different things. You're essentially saying that this would be over, if we were to, if we authorize each of these, each project in total is over $6 million if you, all 3 projects together. There's over $6 million worth of projects here.
There's there may be $6 million worth of projects. There's $4 million requested out of the 3 resolutions, which is greater than the 2.3. So if what we're hearing now is that the 2.3 is one application for the 2.3, we are going to, and the cost that we're requesting is $4 million, we're going to be over. And that's the point. We're going to be over $1.7 million.
Question for the administration in past practice and applying for these grants. I'm assuming that there's communication with the Department of Transportation.
That is
correct. I'm
correct.
assuming that these issues that Mr. McInerney is talking about are talked through before you come before the board and ask us to execute a grant.
It's an application for a
grant application.
Yes. Yes, we do. We actually file them online with the DOT, and they actually review the grant applications.
So, from prior experience, we've had, I'm sure, prior experiences that are similar to this one. What has happened in those instances?
We have been relatively successful with the DOT. Generally, they know when they fund our projects are ready to go. They're biddable projects. We're going to put those contract documents out to bid. And if there is a shortfall, we could, as I said, we can use county capital dollars for that, or we could reduce the scope of work of the project.
Mr. McInerney, has this caused a problem? Has there been a past practice where this has caused a problem where there's been a shortfall and we were not able to cover it?
No, but typically I would see that we were applying for a grant equal to what the amount of money that we needed was for. Here we're seeing, what I'm seeing now is that I believe, based on what was just said, that this is one grant amount of $2.3 million. And that it's to, but the request is for, within the documentation, is for $4 million. So off the bat, I am assuming that if you don't reduce the scope of work, you're going to have to go to general capital for $1.7 million. And that's what I'm thinking now. Does that make sense, Dennis? Or?
That's correct.
Okay, so it is one amount of 2.3 to cover $4 million of cost. So the only thing I'm making the board aware of, that the approval of this would pretty much assure us that we would have to go to general capital county funds for the differential. If they're asking for $4 million and you're only getting 2.3, where's the other 1.7 coming from? It's going to come from general capital. So it's not fully, you don't have a contingency of funds here, like a certification of funds.
Right.
You're short 1.7, but it typically can come from general capital. Dennis is right. We typically do take it out of general capital for sure. But I'm just saying, this is where it's at right now.
Understood. So I'm going to, again, maybe then phrase this back to the administration, asking my original question. Are we prepared for the scenario that Mr. McInerney just laid out?
Yes, we are, Mr. President, and as well, we also have an application in for an additional $10 million for bridge work that we are guardedly optimistic about getting funding for. So we think that between our own capital and again, being guardedly optimistic about some additional bridge money, that we're in good shape.
Okay. Thank you. Comments or questions, Freeholder? Freeholder Pomaris.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sir, on in item number 20, you're referencing the bridge in Bloomfield. Locust Street is on the report. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I don't know of a Locust Street. I know of Locust Avenue. Is that what it is? Is that the one up by Watsussing by the school?
Yes.
Okay, great. So can I just have on record that since that is a heavily congested area with the school, and it's during my time as councilman in Bloomfield, we've had a number of issues there with traffic, that the requested the work for this, I know it's a little bit further advanced, but to have it in the record that this does not happen during school time, because it's quite a bit of a nightmare there. We've had to rearrange the flow of traffic on certain hours during the day to accommodate the amount of traffic there. So it's a highly congested area during school time. So I'd like to please ask for that being put on the record.
Yeah, we're aware of the area and the problems it does create, and we would try to stage the construction, so most of the work is done when school is not in session.
Great. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments? If we would like to take 19, 20, and 21 together, do we have a mover and a second?
I'll move, Mr. President.
Moved by Freeholder Pomaris. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomaris.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Moving to resolution number 22, which has already been read into the record. Mr. Jackson.
Again, Mr. President, with your permission, Mr. Zadale is here to answer your question.
Mr. Freeholder, President Dennis Sedaley, Assistant County Engineer. Item 22 is a contract award to Continelli Brothers for miscellaneous drainage improvements on our county roadway system. This is a yearly contract where we repair or reconstruct our drainage system on our county roads, and we have a representative from Continelli Brothers here to speak.
Thank you.
Good evening, Lucas Prokop, Colonel Brothers. So basically this contract is for on-call services where we're going to provide labor, material and equipment as directed by Public Works Department, and it's going to be repairs throughout the whole country.
Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders. Freeholder Johnson.
Through you, President. Does this include the catch basins?
Basically all the drainage
All of the
improvements,
drainage?
yes.
Okay. So I would like to make a request that they get South Orange Avenue coming down from South Orange into Newark and down into Newark, because the water flows from South Orange and it flows down into Newark. And if our catch basins are not done on South Orange Avenue, we have the floods on our sidewalks.
Okay, the location hasn't been allocated yet. The Department of Public Works has to let us know which jobs to work on. So,
let's make a note. I will get with Department of Public Works.
He's standing there, maybe he can answer something.
Would the administration like to respond?
Dennis Sedaley, Assistant County Engineer. We will take that into consideration as well as if you have any other locations you'd like us to look at. If you make the administrator aware, he'll pass that along to our department director, Mr. Varghese, and he'll have those things taken care of.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Additional questions, comments, freeholders? Do we have a mover and a second for moved by Freeholder Siebel? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Pomaris. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Moving to resolution number 23, which has already been read into the record. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, this is another part of the Payne School project, and corporate counsel Gassion is here to answer your questions. Easy for me to say.
Courtney Gassion, Essex County Council. We came before the board last week to request the approval of the contract for the purchase of this property from the City of Newark. Upon the closing of that property, the county intends to demolish the standing structure to make way, as the county administrator mentioned, for the continued expansion of the area around the new vocational school here in the City of Newark. This particular section in this property will be utilized for increased parking as well as green space. And as I mentioned when we came before the board last week, this was an abandoned property with no residents living in the home that was on the City of Newark's abandoned property list. They took possession of the property and then conveyed it to, or is in the process of conveying it to, the County of Essex, pursuant to your approval last week.
Thank you, Mr. Parlavecchio.
Yeah, Ms. Gassion, have there been any inspections for any environmental issues on this property?
The property is being taken in as-is condition, but the asbestos inspection has already been done. That was done actually several months ago. As far as any other environmentals, we are taking it in an as-is condition.
So no issues with the demolition, any special costs that would exceed this? My question is there anything like, I don't know, underground tanks, things of that nature that's always run into higher expense?
No, there's not.
Okay, great, thank you.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders? Questions or comments? Sure. Do I have a mover or a second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson. Do I have
I'll
a
second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, I'm going to ask that we read resolutions number 24 through 50 into the record at a later time. Freeholders, these are the resolutions creating our standing committees, which have all been provided to you through the clerk.
Mr.
Madam Clerk,
President,
sure.
should I read this in the record at a later time?
Yes, yeah, we will read 24 through 40, 50?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, into the record at a later time. Comments or questions from the freeholders? Do we have a mover and a second?
I'll move.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson. Second by Freeholder Jones. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll now move to Resolution 51 through 53.
Okay.
Read those into a record at a later time. Do we have any comments or questions, freeholders, on number 51 through 53? Do I have a mover and a second on
I'll move it.
51 through 53?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Siebold, second by Vice President Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Timberlake,
Yes.
Freeholder Siebold,
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson,
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares,
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado,
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano,
Yes.
Freeholder Jones,
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson,
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to Resolution number 54. Can you please read Resolution number 54 for the record?
Resolution 54, commendation honoring the Honorable Brittany N. Timberlake for her service to the County of Essex as a member of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, sponsored by acclamation.
Comments from the Freeholder Board on Resolution 54. Freeholder Siebold.
Yes. Tonight is Freeholder Brittany Timberlake's very last meeting. So I'd like to say goodbye to her, and I'm sorry she's leaving us, and I wish her all the best in her new position in the state legislature. She's done a wonderful job right here on the Freeholder Board. She was a terrific president, and I know she will do a great job at the state level. So I wish you the very best, Brittany, and we'll miss you.
Thank you, Freeholder Siebold.
Vice President Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I too want to echo those same sentiments about our past president, Brittany Timberlake. I wish you all the best, and I've told you this previously, that you've really set a high bar, a high standard for whoever comes and sits in that seat. And you did us proud here in the county, and I'm sure you'll do us proud down in the State House.
Thank you, Freeholder Richardson.
Thank you. Freeholder Johnson.
The Honorable Brittany Timberlake. I would like to say that, Brittany, the sky's the limits for you. You have a long way to go. I hope you got on some good skates to be able to slide through the State House, because it's a lot of walking through there. And we are going to miss you here. Some of the things that you've done here have never been done here before. And we appreciate you, and we appreciate what you have done.
Thank you, Freeholder Johnson.
Freeholder Jones.
I want to say to you, Brittany, you were excellent as a leader and especially as a young woman. You did a fantastic job. You will surely be missed. And I hope, although you're going to the State House, that you won't forget about the County House and reach out to me, because I still need your help. You are going to be an asset to the state legislation.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you.
Freeholder Luciano.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll still refer to you as Madam President. We will be definitely missing you. All I could say is, you know, in government and politics, when one door closes, another one opens. But I know that this new one that's opening for you is definitely going to have a lot of what you did and what you were trying to accomplish, and some of the things that you did accomplish here in Essex County coming along in tow with you to the state level. So all we could say is just keep the fire in the belly, keep doing what you're doing, and you might now be the youngest person in the General Assembly. I know starting tomorrow, I'll be the youngest person on the Essex County Freeholder Board again.
Okay.
So I'm a little excited for that. I'll take that crown back,
Yes.
but
But I worked well.
We love you. So good luck.
Thank you, Freeholder Luciano. I know how important that was for you, okay?
I'm the one who dropped the article that time of the Star Ledger.
Yeah, keep reminding me.
That is dog park.
Keep reminding me. Because that's how it started.
President.
Freeholder Mercado.
Madam President, in the short time that we've known each other, I've had the pleasure and the honor, to work with you and support you. Wish you all the best. Thank you for your leadership here in Essex County, and we look forward to your leadership in the State House.
Thank you, Freeholder Mercado.
Mr. President.
Freeholder Palmares.
Freeholder, I admired your work from not so far in Bloomfield, and I wish you the best. My only regret is that we didn't overlap here any longer, but you did set the bar high, so I wish you well in your new role, not only in the legislature, but more importantly as a mother. So I know how life-altering it was at home for me, and I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Freeholder. Echo all the comments of my colleagues. Best of luck in your new endeavor. Looking forward to being able to see you sworn in to the New Jersey General Assembly. Not only, as we know, we had a meeting last week and was happy to be able to second your nomination for the meeting of the 34th Legislative District. So also looking forward to call you with all my constituent complaints as my new assemblywoman in District 34. So they're going to come fast and furious, right, Mayor? But best of luck again, and echo what everyone said. Good luck in Trenton. Good luck in the Assembly. We're going to try to maintain some of the progress that you started on some of the issues that you care deeply about here on the board, to make sure that we maintain that. That's my personal commitment to you, to make sure that those issues continue to be at the forefront, not only for the members of the board, but for any member of the community who wants to make sure that we're doing something about that. So that's a serious issue, and I share that with you. So best of luck. So
thank you.
We have a.
Thank you, Mr. President.
No, I think we have a from the entire board. We have a. You gotta get nervous when you do a clock.
Time is ticking. And Mr. President, thank you for your leadership too, and also thank you for your nomination the other day. I just want you to know, good luck to you, because I have a text message from Deputy Mayor Bob Russo, who clearly wanted me not to forget that he was the one that seconded the nomination. So just
we're gonna give him all your numbers.
Yes.
My colleague.
it's like only to understand. I would have dressed better if I knew.
That's your dad.
Make sure you get a blood scanner.
And the clerk, you're not gonna take one?
He has my phone.
Oh, right.
You didn't get my feet right, Ryan?
No, I didn't get your shoes. Well, I didn't get a shoe. I thought the women always want their shoes shown.
No, they won't.
Not when you're pregnant.
Well, yeah, everyone's leaving, huh?
Oh, yeah, what do we drop to 40 and 41st now?
My wife would say my wife would say it was just hard enough to come, period.
Oh. Oh, so what you can break it for
Through you, Mr. President?
Sure, absolutely, relatively.
Freeholder Richardson just reminded me that I should announce when the swearing in is. It's Monday at 1 p.m. I know Freeholder Luciano thought last week was my last Freeholder meeting, but you know I had to come to maintain my perfect attendance. So let me see, does the plaque say anything about that? No, I'm just. But I want to say thank you so much to the staff for all of your support. You know, a leader is only as strong as people who are around them, helping them get things done. And I also want to say thank you so much to my colleagues. It was an honor and a privilege to serve with you and also to be your president for the last 3 years. Thank you for that. And you will certainly be missed. But it's not as if I'm going far, so you know that I'm always here to reach out to listen to concerns, and that I can be an advocate for whatever it is that you're working on there at the State House.
Thank you. Thank you, Freeholder Timberlake.
Where's your swearing in?
Yes, swearing-ins in Trenton at the Assembly Chambers.
Excellent. And through you, Madam Clerk, if we could provide those details to the full board via written and email communication. Moving to resolution number 55.
Did we vote on 54?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Thank you, Ms. Polavecchio. Do I have a mover and a second? Let's make it official on resolution 54.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Seawold, seconded by Vice President Freeholder Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 55.
Resolution 55, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, contract award to John Vacas, TA Quality Electrical Construction, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder for the replacement of 2 outdoor LED signs at the Hall of Records Complex, 30-day contract, amount not to exceed $249,000.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Mr. President. As you probably noticed, and the board noticed, the 2 signs surrounding the Hall of Records complex are done, essentially. And this is a contract to replace them. And Mr. Sedale, as well as Mr. Fracas from the Quality Electrical, are here to explain the project.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Dennis Sedale, Assistant County Engineer. We are going to replace the 2 LED signs here at the Hall of Records Complex. The one on Springfield Avenue and MLK, that's a one-sided LED sign. That one's approximately 6 to 8 years old, and we're going to also replace a 2-sided sign here at the parking lot out in the back here. That sign's about, I believe, 12 to 14 years old. And we're replacing because it's hard to get parts to repair them, and it's old technologies, and there's just, that's about it. So we're going to replace them and upgrade them. And we have the contractor here to speak with.
Please.
Hello, everybody. Board, Mr. President, John Fakis, Quality Electrical, President. The scope of the project here is actually to replace the existing boards pretty much in kind. They're going to be similar in nature. They are LED boards, but the new ones will be video message boards, which has a high resolution. The boards will actually work on the same circuitry that you have existing. They are wirelessly controlled, and they also have an option to have cellular control in order for programming.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Vice President Richardson.
Yeah, where is your company located?
The company has New Jersey, Monmouth County.
Okay, so approximately how many folks will be working on these signs?
Probably 3 to 4. What it would be is probably 1 electrician, 1 operator, and 2 to 3 laborers.
So any of them from Essex County?
No. We have performed several projects as a subcontractor in Essex County, working for companies such as Landtech and Applied Landscape, doing predominantly sports lighting and scoreboards throughout parks.
So when you did that work, did you have any Essex County residents?
No, we did not. Most of our employees are directly in Monmouth County.
Is it union or non-union outfit?
We are non-union, family-owned. But we do abide by all the prevailing wage requirements outlined by the state and federal government.
But you don't hire any Essex County residents. You do a lot of work in Essex County.
I wouldn't say we do a lot of work in Essex County, we just have worked here before.
Do you, one other, Mr. President, do you employ any minorities in your company?
Yes, we do.
African Americans?
No.
Thank you.
Freeholders, additional questions? Comments? Do I have a mover and a second on resolution number 55?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Moved by Freeholder Siebel, seconded by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Abstain.
Freeholder Jones.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
President not voting.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
President not voting.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
We'll go back to number 8.
I think before we do that, Ms. Parlavecchio, going back to number 8, I'd like to do public comment in the session. Okay, Madam Clerk, why don't we do public comment? Now, if there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any matter, please come to the microphone and state your name, address, and affiliation for the record. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Okay. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there is no one wishing to speak at this time. Going back to resolution number 8.
So we just need, Mr. President, a motion, if it's still the will of the board, to go into executive session. Just a motion and second to go into executive session.
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call, Madam Clerk. Second was Vice President Richardson.
Thank you. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Mr. President, just for the record, this reason we're going into executive session is to discuss the litigation of Gibson and Hassan versus Essex County College.
Thank you, Mr. Parlavecchio.
Just need to shut off whatever we need to shut off.
Yes.
Mr. President, we're back on the record coming out of executive session where we've just discussed the lawsuit that was referenced in item number 8, Gibson and Hassan versus Essex County College. And now we're back in open session.
Thank you, Mr. Parlavecchio. Madam Clerk, we will now move to resolution number 8. Can you please read it for the record?
Resolution 8, Office of County Counsel Professional Services to provide legal services regarding the matter of Dr. Gail Gibson and Rashida Hassan versus Essex County College, McElroy, Deutsch, Mulvaney, and Carpenter, January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018, amount not to exceed $40,000.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Jackson?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Would you like to bring up again, or do we?
I thought we covered it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Parlavecchio?
Yeah, just to refresh the board, since we did do this at the beginning of the meeting, This is to approve a legal services contract with an outside counsel, the firm of McElroy, Deutsch, Mulvaney and Carpenter, to represent the Essex County Executive in this lawsuit, amount not to exceed $40,000. And we've gone through some of the legal aspects of this matter in closed session. But this is essentially a renewal of a contract that this board approved in 2017.
Thank you, Mr. Parlavecchia. Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders, any questions or comments for the record? Hearing and seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Siebel.
Second.
Seconded by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones.
Abstain.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
Freeholder Timberlake.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to reports of board committees. Do we have any reports of board committees? Legislative reports. Written communications. Unfinished business. New business. Taking care of public comment. Parlavecchia, do we need to do public comment again, coming out of closed session?
We could, but I don't think there's anybody left.
No, waited a minute.
No offense.
No offense taken by the board. Freeholder comment session. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move it.
Meeting adjourned.